What's up, YouTubers? It's me, Johnny. It's post-holiday. I think the markets were open like 3 or 4 hours today, at least in New York, and it was pretty bloody. And I just want to highlight some of it and give some thoughts on what I was saying yesterday about currencies melting down. Before, I was less sure, and I'm still not really sure, but based on what happened today, we might see more meltdowns in the developing world's currency markets because of this, but we might not. This may be a nothing burger, but we'll have to wait and see. I was surprised to see the dollar actually weaken a little bit. But let me just go over some of the numbers. Like the S&P 500 was down 2.25. The Dow was down 2.5. NASDAQ was down 2.25. That's kind of interesting. I would have thought the NASDAQ would be down more. But the techs have been selling off a lot even before this. And if you're a stock trader, or if you're looking to buy shares in growth stocks, which personally I am, it's mainly because I don't really believe the Fed's going to raise interest rates, or if they do, it won't be much. And after what happened today, I doubt the Fed's going to signal they're going to taper. They're probably going to come out to Monday or maybe over the weekend and kind of hint at they might delay the taper. And then you could see a hard bounce Monday. And speaking of markets, I'm going to get to oil in a second. Like last Wednesday, I think I took off a lot of my oil shares, so I just got lucky on that. Oil was down 13% today, or $10.25, or at least futures contracts were down 13%. And gold did not do much. It didn't go up or down. Well, it went up $1.20, but it didn't really do much. That is kind of interesting. I kind of think it's not going to rally. I mean, you would think it would rally, but I don't think it's going to rally. Silver is down 39 cents, $1, or 1.5. Let's look at the euro dollar. The euro gained almost 1%. We'll see if that reverses. Let's look at 10-year interest. The 10-year bond, 9.91%. That is fascinating. In other words, if you're long that, you would have made, I think, 9.91%. Interest rates, I don't know what they were. They must have been at 1.5 or 1.6. Last week, I think they got up. Last week or the week before, I think they're at 1.6, 1.62. So that's signaling a recession, in my opinion. That's why I don't think the Fed's going to really taper. But before they were signaling, now I think they're going to reverse their signal. We'll have to see. I'm just not believing they're going to do it. If that is the case, we could see a big bounce Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday as news comes out about this new COVID issue coming out of South Africa. Now we got the pound sterling. It didn't really move much. It's up about, I don't know, 1/8%. But again, the dollar weakened on all this is just my main point. Now here we go with the dollar yen. We were down almost 2%, a point and 3/4. So that's pretty interesting. We get a market crash and people are selling the dollar. Before going into this, the dollar was rallying a lot. And is this the beginning of a reversal start? I think it could be. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. If the dollar's reversing, then everything I said about the emerging markets could be way off. The currencies could be rallying again, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, Bitcoin was down about 9%. I don't know what ETH was down. Almost everything was down. Some of the things that didn't go down that much was Solana, Luna, Terra Luna, and a lot of the gaming currencies. I just got really lucky. I sold quite a lot of the gaming currencies or tokens right at kind of the top of the market. I personally still think the lower capitalizations ones will still rally, but that's just me. Anyways, I just want to go over some numbers. I was writing them down. Also, too, thanks for all the comments on my last video. But like today, I think when I looked it up, the peso was at 21.9. The USD real, I'm not sure how to say it. The Brazilian currency is at 5.6. The US dollar guarani, that's in Paraguay, it's at 6,826. I remember when it was at 4,000. So that's quite a sell-off again. I mean, that's a commodity currency. I would have figured, with this commodity boom, they would be strengthening, but they haven't been. dollar Colombian pesos at 4,007. I mean, for a big chunk of the last decade, I want to say the last 5 or 6, 7 years, is at 2,500. I think now we're at 4,000. Could we see 5,000? I don't know. Well, we will have to wait and see. The USD Turkish lira is at 12.4. It got up to I think 13.5, but now it's at 12.4. The USD, the Chilean peso is at 828. I mean, that's almost like a 50% decline from where it used to be. So I guess if you want to live in Chile, you can get a good bargain there. And I was looking at the dollar sol, or the Peruvian currency. It's at 4.0. It's exactly 4. So anyways, I think before the dust clears, some of these things will maybe sell off a little bit more, and it may not get it. And I agree with one of the commenters. It may not go up like the U.S. dollar, the Mexican peso may not go up to 30. But I'm going to watch it because they have the new lady, the equivalent of their Fed down there. She appears to be dovish. Of course, I don't mean that's really the case, but until the market works out what her position is on the dollar peso rate, we'll have to wait and see. But the reason I'm saying all this is because if this new variant causes governments to shut everything down, which I don't think will happen, but I was wrong the last time. But if it does, then from what we saw with oil prices today, the market seems to believe that, then you could see some of these currencies really sell off another 10, 20%. Now, that won't take the Mexican peso up to 30, but it could take it up to 25 or 26, like one of the commenters was saying. That seems more realistic to me, and that would be a good bargain. And then if it seems to top out there, if you're a trader, you'd want to kind of lean on that pretty hard. I mean, I would, but I'm a trader. So there's that. But I just think we just have to wait and see. I personally think the markets are going to recover. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think the Fed's going to signal there's not going to be a taper, or the taper will be pushed down the road, kick the can. I think the EU and the pound sterling governor there, I forget his name, they're going to hint at, because the last time it came up in the UK, they didn't raise interest rates. And that's kind of my point. If they don't raise rates, and if they back off on like New Zealand, I think Australia's raised rates. I know Brazil and Mexico have, and their rates are getting really high where it's slowing their economies, where I think there's going to be a lot of political pressure on their bank heads to lower rates like they did in Turkey. If that is the case, you could see a big sell-off, which would be an opportunity to go long. Here's why I say why that is. Because usually in these kind of inflationary environments, you're better off with growth shares, and you're also better off with emerging market shares. Just as like a 5 or 10 year window is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about short-term trading, but as a long-term play. But with so much capital going into cryptocurrencies, that may be where a lot of the action is. So if you want to get a lot of alpha, that's where you would go. Now, where I think is an interesting play right now, coming Monday, is Block. Block has MicroStrategy. It has some of the crypto miners. I'm not really enthusiastic about them, but it also has Square and has PayPal. And those things are really, really cheap right now, in my opinion. This is not an investment advice, this is my opinion. So I will probably play that. And I don't know, I'm kind of lukewarm on oil shares. I mean, I still have a little bit of them. I sold quite a bit of them, I think Wednesday. We'll have to wait and see. But because some of these tech shares are outperforming the market, and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana are so outperforming, I'm seriously thinking about not like trading some of these macro type perspectives anymore, because the alpha, it really is not in like oil shares and gold mining shares when it's right, or even tech shares to a certain extent. But some of these tech shares that are going in on cryptocurrencies and things like that, I personally think are really going to, the next 10 years is going to be a real big boom for them. We'll have to wait and see though. Anyways, not too much else to say, but I think Monday we'll probably see initially a sell-off, and then probably on the weekend the Fed or some Federal Reserve head somewhere in the world will say remarks that will soften or try to dampen a Monday morning sell-off, and we may get a Monday morning sell-off no matter what. I suspect people will start buying at the lows of that, and then I expect the Fed, the EU chief, what's her face? I can't remember her name, but anyways, Lagarde, to come in and say some soothing words about, not raising interest rates, not tapering too fast, more stimulus, more handouts and things like that. This could get really crazy. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know anymore. Like, they've printed so much money. It's amazing. The markets still are up this much. And in the past, I would have said they would have been a self, but I don't say that anymore because it seems like the more they print, the more capital goes into non-interest rate shares like tech shares. Like in general, like if you want to play and get a big move when interest rates are low, you always go along the tech. In general, if you want to do value shares, you do that when interest rates are high. That's why, I mean, I'm a big value guy. I like the theory of it, but in low interest rates environments, value shares just get the piss knocked out of them over a long, long period of time. They never show their value, and they just keep being undervalued. So as long as interest rates stay low and all this speculation it happens, and this speculation and share speculation and crypto, I'll just stay long those things. But again, you want to position size yourself and don't get too carried away with some of these crap coins out there, or the meme coins, things like that. Unless you can lose that much and it's not going to affect you too much. But anyways, I'm really surprised most of the time when it's the holidays, like Christmas and Thanksgiving, markets rally they rally a lot. And today or yesterday, when I don't know what exactly happened, but when they made the announcement about South Africa and then some countries, I think the USA, as a matter of fact, is banning flights into the US from South Africa and a few other African nations. And now they're saying this new strain is already in Europe. Apparently it's in Poland. Again, my view is we just have, get your vaccine, don't get it, do whatever you want to do, but we just have to learn to live with it, and we can't do much about it. We need to let this thing run its course and just get back to normal. But until we do that, you're going to see this volatility in markets. And I am kind of surprised that markets sold off this much, but again, there's not a lot of volume. It's a holiday, so I'm not that surprised. But seeing oil sell off, I think 13%. Oops. Yeah, 13%. And then the long bond, or actually the 10-year bond, like 10%, 9.9%. Imagine if you had leverage on that and you're on the wrong side. But if you're on the right side, you would have made a lot of money today. But anyways, we'll have to see how it goes. I hope my viewers are having a good Christmas or a good Thanksgiving holiday wherever you're at in the world. And as always, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking, how this is all going to pan out. I really have no idea. In the past, I was maybe more bearish. Now I'm just going to go with the trend for right now. All right, have a good evening wherever you are. Thanks.